Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening somewhere. It is 8:30 a.m. in the East Coast of the United States, and I believe it's like 10:30 in Tokyo right now. So it's even morning and evening everywhere and somewhere. Either way, hi. You can see here dollar index this morning under the par, the 1.00 now for like a third day, I believe it is. It's put up on Chicago Quant too at the same time, right there. There we go. And right there we are. And you can see pretty much Friday it tried to bounce up a little bit after making another low down to the 99.26 area. Today it's pretty much unchanged, down a little bit, nothing major. You can see our daily algorithm is trying to turn up. What do we got here? Oh, let's see what the economic statistic was too. There we go. And that was wholesale trade. All right, 3.5. Let's see. Dismiss. Let's see what it did to the stock market, if it had any effect. All right, let's see. The news came out right there. No. This bar, let's widen it out too. Oop, wrong way like that. Let's widen it out. This is the S&P 500 in an intraday tick. There it is before the news. There's during the news. A little down, makes a low. Just two handles, nothing major. And now they've lifted up about 3 handles from the low. So nothing massively exciting, but they just felt comfortable with it. And you can see it was, I guess you could say, right here. This point there is 15 minutes beforehand, right there. That low right there. And then they release the information to the reporters, but they don't supposedly release it to the general public and the hedge fund managers and so forth. You tell me, the reporters are doing that much buying before the news actually comes out? Just is what it is. It's the game that constantly is played, and you just shake your head at it. And then the level of pretending. I remember we used to complain as members of the exchange. We'd go to the SEC and the CFTC, and no one would give a damn. And we'd be like, "There's your evidence. They made trades 15 minutes beforehand. Why aren't you doing something?" It's just business. That's all. Yeah, it's the business, all right. Weasley business. All right, let's go over to, is that it right there? I think that is. Let's see what Dukascopy, if anybody's up on the chat line today. Heading there now. And what do we see? Buckus. Okay. The way it goes. No one getting moving. It's a Monday. Boy, we had a flying Monday 2 weeks ago. There was lots of action. Let's lower that volume a little bit. There we are. So, what else can we say about any of that? Guard your privacy. Volume went up again. There we are. We've lowered all the volumes now. All right, so that's the S&P 500. Let's get back to the dollar index itself, right there. And you can see it just kind of humbly hanging out, and that's what it's supposed to do. We've been talking about watching this par, break the par. We thought it would break the par. It broke the par. It's sitting down there, and it has no direction at this point. I guess they're trying to figure out is there going to be more inflation, less inflation, more interest rates, less interest rates. The currencies basically function off of the old fundamentals to a great extent. Or let's put it this way, greater than anything else, but maybe not the majority, because the majority is the central banks. A little sip of the tea here. So, that's where we are with the dollar index. Not anything particular. It's been a nice little slide. We were in that sell there. It's been in a weekly sell since back in here. So, no real surprise. You can see the slow up on J4X trading at the 5.3, and we have the fast trading at 9.8. So it's trying to make a little bounce just the same way ours right here is doing, trying to make the bounce. And obviously if we get a green hinky ashky, it basically tells us that there's a little pop coming up, maybe a dead cat bounce from the last action that we've seen. But overall, the dollar index should, after making a couple year low. Where is that? That is in second quarter of 2021. So it's about a 2-year low we're seeing challenged at the moment. After that, that's pretty much the action in the dollar. I heard that the Turkish president, former prime minister, Erdogan, is doing a tour with Saudi Arabia and a few other countries trying to get investments. And when I heard that this morning, I quickly ran over to see what they were doing to the Turkish lira, And it had made a low at one point of the, for like a 3-day low. And then it was kind of trading higher up. So I'm looking forward to when we get to the Turkish lira, just to see what it's doing now. That was 3 hours ago I looked at it. All right, from there we go over to the euro. And there is the euro right there. Up a little bit, just a little ahead. Just like the same way that the dollar index is just a little flat to down. Or a little up the flat to down. I don't know, it's really tight. You see the algorithm on the daily trying to roll over, but it's pretty high up and pretty firm. It's been in that nice daily buy now for, this is the 7th day. It's been in that nice weekly buy now for the 6th week. And the fast and the slow went into it together and have not really looked too far back. I guess when they tried to make this low here and then tried to turn again, it was the beginning of the next, hot run. And for those, when I say it's the when, it was the when. All right. From there, we'll go over to cable. Cable looking kind of a little more anemic, kind of, just a little weaker, but still holding up for the, what is it, the 9th, right there. That's the 10th. This is the 11th day in a daily buy since down in here, right there. And it's been in a weekly buy. On the fast side of it, it's been a weekly buy for 2, 4, 6, going on an 8th week. On the slow, we've been in a weekly buy for the 6th week. So it's been a pretty good action there. Now let's go take a look at, we didn't look at euro. Let's look at the euro too on J4X. And right there's the euro. Doing that same thing. Way up at the top. The fast is tied basically. It's 95 and I think that's 96. Is that 96? I think that's 95 and change and 95 and change. They're banging the top of the ceiling here. Now let's take a look at it over on the British pound. Dollar pound. Or pound dollar, what it really is right there. And you can see that it's been in a nice buy there. And come on, there we go. You can see 92 on the fast, 85 on the slow. It's kind of leaking a little bit, just like these two right there. These last 2 days have been a little leaky, a little pressure on the downside. And let's take a look at the weekly itself. Right there. And it's been, looking good. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days with green hinky ashkies and, our weeks, that is, not days, weeks. And so, doing the same thing as we've been doing over here. Lots of signals to say that it wanted to go up, and it went up. That's what it's doing. It's not being bashful. It's a little odd in some ways. We see that when we look at the British pound against the yen, and we look at the euro against the yen, and then we look at the dollar against the yen, these two, the two majors, euro and British pound, are very firm against the yen compared to the dollar, which is much more weaker. which has been telling us over and over again that there's pressure on the dollar. We kind of keep on trying to emphasize that. It's not like the world is coming to an end or something. It's just that, there are times where people reach up, or let's say investors reach up for a product, and there are times where they take their profits and get out of it. And these are the times to be more along the euro and the cable. And that's what we've been saying. Now, I would say the next correction on the dollar index where it tries to turn up, I would imagine when it goes back into a sell, you want to really be long the cable and the euro, because it's probably going to be, more energy into the upside of the two major currencies there, the euro and the GBP. Ooh, T. So from there, we'll go over and take a look at Swiss. Put it up on Chicago Quant. Right there. You can see that's been really impressive. We're in the 86s trying to challenge the 85s. Really didn't expect to see that great a move in the dollar Swiss situation. I was very bullish on it, but I just figured it would stall out in like the high sixes, low sevens, just because of the great move it's had. But it does seem to be, it's, as I like to sing, it seems to be back in the saddle again. It's placed for money to run to. And that's always nice to see that. That's an old norm. Normal market characteristic is to see money run towards the Swiss, not away from the Swiss. Boy, when it runs away from the Swiss, it's like, oh man, what are they doing now to the world economy? Because all they do is reach for the dollar. Now from there, let's put it up on J4X. Right there. This is the weekly. It's been in a weekly sell now for 2, 4. This is the 6th week. You can see we have 2, 4. This is 6 red hinkies. So it's been breaking down. The fast is trading at 6, and the slow is trading at almost 12. So now, I'm sorry, the fast is trading at 7.3, and the slow is trading at 11.3. So it's moving around. That's a pretty big difference between the two. And the product is down at the low end of the range. And so, this might be the week. Remember, I like to throw this caveat in. I say it to everybody. We're going into the last 2 weeks of July. And these last 2 weeks in July, the math can get a little sloppy. That's why we're only 8.5 out of 10. Because, there's a couple pockets every year. Same time, they just get slow and sloppy. In other words, it's like we used to call it trading by appointment, because when you're in an active market, there is no appointment. You're just like reaching out with a basket trying to collect things. Catch it all, grab it. It's like you wish you had 10 hands. And then it gets slow because of the holiday season, the summer holidays and so forth in North America. And it's the dead of winter in the southern hemisphere right now. And, we refer to this as trading by appointment, because it's like, isn't there going to be a trade? Where's the trade? You can do it with just 1 or 2 fingers. You don't even need a hand. It's so slow. And so when you get into slow markets or illiquid markets from being slow and less participants, you get that sloppiness and you get that low action, and accuracy more than anything else. Not as much as the low action as much as the accuracy. It becomes, it's like, wow. It's like waiting for a bus or queuing in a line. And it's like, all right, are we there yet? Is it coming? That type of thing. It's got that. At least that's the way I always look at it. It's the way we looked at it during the good old days of, trading on the floors. And, that's pretty much really what it comes down to. Are we there yet? And that's what it's going to be. It can have action, but at the same time, it's going to be slow and sloppy. So we'll watch now for the next 3 weeks. Going the last 2 weeks of I think is a Friday end the month. Let's see how it goes. Is it that perfect? Wouldn't that be great if it does? Okay, so Monday is the last day of the week, and yeah, so Monday is the last day of the week. It's a 31-day month, so we'll be going into August on a Tuesday. And so I expect to see, for the next 3 weeks, maybe 3.5 weeks of some real less accurate technical tools. Sometimes not. It's just the way it is, but this is the natural period where for decades and decades and decades, this was a target zone that I watched out for and said, let's do something else besides have open positions. If you had open positions, you had them on for, they were 6 and 7 weeks in duration, that type of thing. Even now, my options go out to the, I think they go out to the 16th. Let me just take a peek. But I think it's the 16th. They expire on the 18th of August. Yeah, so we should be moving through that time period and trying to capture some of that decay. All right, now from there, we slide over into the daily on the Swiss and see what she's doing. There we go. And you can see there it's been a waterfall. It's been beautiful, because we are, let's see where we are on this. It's on there on the screen. You can see we've been in a daily sell now for 2, 4, 6, this is 8, yeah, 3 and 3, 8 days now in a daily sell from the 90 area. And the weekly, has been from the mid, or I guess you could call it the low or mid 89s. And here we are piercing the 86. So it's been a good trade. It's a winner chicken dinner. And you see it over here. The fast is now at 10:30, was at 10:28. The slow is at 5.9, almost 6. So it's trying to make a little bounce here. You can see it on, that's, on J4X. You can see here on Chicago Quant, same identical thing. We're making that bounce. Not really doing it in price and appreciation, but it is making the bounce in the technical and in our algorithms. So we'll see how that plays out by the end of the day. Maybe they start to, dollar. It's hard to say. I'm not. We've got an interest rate meeting in 3.5 weeks. I think it's the second week of August, and I think that's when it is. Let's see let me see when the Fed is. Let's see. Fed next meeting. Fed calendar. What is the Fed's interest rate decision in June? What are the dates of the FOMC meetings? There we go. Okay, so it's going to be next week. Next week? Yeah. So it's going to be next week, the 25th and the 26th. And then the next one is September 19th and 20th. So the markets could drag their heels more and more and more going into next week, which the 25th and 26th is Tuesday, Wednesday. So 27th and 28th and 29th and 30th. No, it could be, let me think. I think the 26th is 25th and 26th. Yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday. And so that could be, the markets might kind of stumble and bumble and try not to make any real moves until then. Unless they get a whiff of the opinion of the Fed. Some announcement is made. Cool. All right, now from there, cool. When is that? All right. There we go. Let's see, what's month? This is the 7th month. Okay, so 8 is August. Yeah, okay. August 7th. Cool. All right, now from there, we slide over to the yen. Let's see what the yen's up to. Dollar yen right there. Trying to lift up today. It looks like it's just, it's sold down a little bit, but didn't take out Friday's low. And it's trying to lift up a little bit. Did it take out Friday's high? 139.013 today. 139.158. Nope, hasn't even taken out Friday's high yet. But you can see it's getting through the manifold, and it's trying. The weekly confirm. Yeah, it did. It closed in a weekly sell last week, right there. Let's put that in there. I thought we had that in there. There we are. And then let's save that. Save-a-roo. Save workspace. Save. There we are. Okay, now let's put it up on J4X. Right there. And you can see that little bounce it's trying to develop. We got the slow trading at 12.3. We've got the fast trading at 22.6. So they're coming in. They are trying to come in. There's no doubt about that. And you can see ours, that's got that rocket shot of a green line and the histogram making it through the zero line. So they're reaching for it. Whereas on the weekly basis, they're saying, okay, another opportunity to sell. And that's the action we're seeing at the moment. All right, now from the dollar yen, we're going to go explore a few others. We like to look at, not only do we like to look at the dollar yen, but we like to look at the euro yen and see how much more it's up compared to that. About flatlined, same way, that's for sure. It's a second day in a buy. Look at that. Okay, so it's holding on pretty strong here, and it's not even. Look at that. Not the fastest slid underneath. Okay, but the slow is still on the edge, and it's still in that weekly buy. Now we go over and take a look at cable yen. Right there. Same thing. Went into a daily buy on Friday. And it is minus 0.01. It's right on the zero line. And the fast closed underneath it on Friday. We'll see how it plays out this week with that. And that's the way we've been measuring things. So the euro is looking like it's the strongest of the three, again. And the dollar, obviously, let's go back to the dollar and take a peek at it again. Right there. The dollar, it couldn't get into the buy on Friday. The yen, but which is kind of like the dollar getting into the buy here means that the yen is losing against the dollar, where this slide down was a gain for the yen against the dollar. But you can see the weekly has slid into that already. So this one is more accentuated than any of the others. All right, now we go and we take a look at. Let's see where I am. Right. Where are we? Let's see now. Let me see. We'll find it in a second. Let's go see the one we talked about at the very beginning of this webinar, and that is the euro against the Turkish lira. And here we go. At the highs of the day, but not taking out the all-time high of 3 days ago. Let's get it up on the right there. Matter of fact, let's widen that a little bit, and let's put it up over here on J4X. Right there. Woo! A sea of green. A sea of green. Look at that. It's a sea of green. From the 20-ish area. 21.30. And she's traded as high now as, what's the high now? The high is 30.37, 36.99. That's good enough to call 37. That's the all-time high of 3 days ago. So we went after that 31 area. We've been looking for that, and there it is. And it's got that, today, the president, former prime minister, is out trying to find investors. So who knows what nice, sweet deals. I used to do work for this Southern hedge fund, and they were the micro cap #1 hedge fund for a couple years in a row, and they were the #1 in the United States for a couple years in a row. And what they would do is they'd go around and find little companies that had some legitimate product, some solid economic data, I guess you could say, economic, fundamentals. This is back in, I was doing this back in 2003, 2002, 2003, I think it is. And, worked along with them all the way up until like 2016, something like that, 2015. But they would go and hunt down little companies that had great potential, and they would get the stock sold to them from the treasury of the company itself. So, they could end up with 3 million shares at the price of $1.50 or something like that. And in the market, it was trading for, say, $1.80 or $1.90 or $2. And they would hold on to it for like a couple years, and they would, go up and down, and then there would be a point where the company earnings pop up, because of some great deal they finally get going, and the stock goes to like $4 or $5, and there's tons of buyers out there, and they would quadruple their money on them. When I heard that the president, former prime minister Aragon, was doing that, going around to Saudi Arabia and a few other countries this morning looking for foreign investment, I thought of them. I really did. And I was wondering, what is he going to do? Are they going to sell, say, okay, you can have our currency at. Now, really think about that. I mean, this currency is not exactly where you want to be. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's gone from $1 and €1 to 1 lira to now it's trading basically almost 30 lira to the dollar. 30 lira to the... Matter of fact, we haven't even looked at the dollar-lira pairs trade in a while. It's probably 28 or 29. It used to be, a couple points difference. So you're seeing here that the euro is at 29.58, almost basically 30 euros. Lira to 1 euro. Okay, so now, lira, 29.5 lira to 1 euro. Now we go over and let's see what the dollar one is. I haven't even looked at that in a while because it's so sloppy and so illiquid that, we used to follow it like clockwork. 26.32. And must be the all-time high of 26.97. But it's very liquid. You can see we can have swings for the high that day is 23.68. The low is 22.55. Big swings. There's one day where the high is 26.52. The low is 24.92. Lots of wild swings in there. You can see it. It happens every couple days. You get these wild swings. The day that went to all-time highs, the next day the euro went to the all-time high. It's just very illiquid. Look at some of these. I mean, they're just wild. It's become just a shooting match, So anyway, I'm thinking to myself, they're out, he's President Aragon, former prime minister, out there trying to bring in foreign investment to cut back on the 200% inflation that they've had of late. And, I was thinking, what could they offer? Really, what can they offer a country like Saudi Arabia? And that's where they're at the moment, negotiating with. But what can they offer? Access possibly some pipelines, some opportunity like that. Maybe pay them in, buy some things in the Turkish lira instead of using the dollar or the euro, or things like that. What can they really offer? I don't think there's a lot they can offer, but I give the president credit. The former prime minister, now president, is at least trying, and that's a good thing. Trying to clean up the economic situation that he's developed over the years, because when he started as prime minister, there was a 1-to-1 ratio of the euro and the Turkish lira. There was a 1-to-1 ratio to the dollar and the Turkish lira. And then when he moved to president, then it really got ugly. Went from something like 9 to now we are at 30, basically. So, it's gotten even worse. Maybe it was 6 after he left the prime ministership and moved to president. It got even worse. Went from 6 to 30. So, what can he offer a foreign country? Better access, more interest on their money. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, we watch through the eyes of the euro because it's location, location, location. In other words, a lot of the European Union borders Turkey, and so you have a lot of cross, state lines or country lines, international lines, however you want to describe it. Commerce, and so whereas for something to be sold to the United States, it's got to be put on a ship and it's got to be shipped, and instead someone can pull up a truck, fill it up, and drive back over the border. And for a few $100 or a few hundred euros, they've moved inventory. But that potential is not there with the dollar. So we've been, and you can see the liquidity in the euro against the Turkish lira compared to the dollar Turkish lira. Now, that's something we're seeing a 3-point discount, and we used to see. I'm trying to remember how it was. I guess it was 2.5 and 3 discount for a long time, and then things got so bad there that all we saw was them trading at parity for a while. So in other words, if the Turkish lira against the euro was trading at 22, it was doing the same thing against the dollar. Basically, there was almost no discount. There were even prices, and so those things. That's what inflation's all about, and that hurts an economy. So anyway, I was just fantasizing because I dealt with a company, a hedge fund that did that, did that game. They found a way to buy discount. That's what it really is. You go and make a deal, you're buying discount somehow, and and that's what Turkey's trying to do right now: sell discount to Saudi Arabia. Now the question is, what are they selling discount to, or what are they giving interest to that that other foreign investors are not getting? That's really what the question is in my mind. But that's the experience I have, so I can say that I actually seen it happen and with real money, so I know where they're coming from. All right, now from there we zip over to what we call the top brick. It's the M brick, and that is the Mexican peso, or King peso. It's had a wonderful run against the dollar. They announced that they want to be in the brick consortium, I guess it is. And so we watched the Mexican peso, and this whole move down like this is a gain of the peso against the dollar. So at one point it was 19 peso to the dollar. And now it's 6 or 7 or something like that. Let's see, what is this? So that's what it really comes down to, is the peso. The Mexican peso is the king brick at this point. And so there is no other way to really look at it but the number one brick in the world. All right, and then from there we look at the second most powerful brick, and that is the South African rand, right there. Oh, and let's take a look at the king brick up on J4X. King brick. The king peso. You can see it's been one nice steady ride down. Yeah, I mean, you get your little bounces here a couple times, but look at that. It's been it was up in the 19s. Now it's flirting underneath the six. In this case here, yesterday. Is that it right there? No, I'm sorry. Now we're like at South African Rand. It was underneath the 16 area. Went to 15 and change. So, all right. From there we go over to gold. We're going to put gold up on J4X because we look at the South African Rand and we watch the action that we see in the metals complex. So let's find it right there. And there is gold. You can see gold is kind of unched for the day. No big deal. I think it was up in the 60s last week. This is the spot, so it's about I think it's like $7 cheaper than the futures contract. Let's just show you what that looks like right here. I guess we'll go right here instead, like that. There we are. That's the dollar index. Let's put in gold. Oh, look at that. Gold's trading at 51. On spot, it's a 48. There's only a $3 difference now. And you can see we are flirting with a daily sell again. And we could not get into that weekly buy. And it was really disturbing. We saw, copper doing it. We saw silver there, and we're thinking, wow. And platinum almost made it. It was right up to the edge to the last day. It jumped through it, and then it failed. So you can see here, gold is trying to go down. So more than likely, the South African Rand is moving up and losing against the dollar. And that's what it is for the last 2 days. It's up a little bit. Now today, a little unchanged, and it hasn't taken out Friday's high. And it definitely didn't take out Friday's low. So it's kind of moving in the opposite direction at the moment. You can see here, it's trying to get back into the buy, and you can see the weekly is just right on the edge of trying to get through. All right, and we'll come back after we finish off the last currency, and that is the Canadian. And we watch the Canadian with the oil market. And right there, you can see the oil market is... Oh, let's put oil market up on J4X. Light, sweet, crude. Had a wild move this morning. News had come out by Saudi Arabia about something about discounting or doing something, and then it just rolled over again. So they popped it at one point, or not discounting or something like that, thinking that it was going to be more expensive, and the next thing you know, it's back down again. So we'll show you that right here. That was around 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. Let's see. I think so. Okay, now, right there. And this is going to be expiring by the end of the week, this contract. And they had run it up to 76 and change this morning. 76.09. It was up, let's see, it closed on Friday at 75.27. And it ran up about $1 to 76.09. And then rolled over again. And you can see here they're playing with the daily sell. We're in the weekly buy. It's been a nice move right there for the buyers and traders of watching our math. And then, so then, let's go back to the Canadian. Right there. There's the CAD. It's when the oil is going down, the Canadian normally loses against the dollar and goes up. That's how that works. You can see here it's even on the edge of the weekly. The fast has been in there for 2 weeks, and it'll be interesting to see if these two join in together and start to go up, and that might be, giving us a signal that the oil market might be heading towards the lower end of the range again. So we'll keep a deep look on that for sure. All right, traders. So from there, what we do is we run over to the metals complex. I think that's what we had up there. No, there's crude. So we'll do crude and the energy complex, and then we'll go over to the metals complex. So you see light crude right there. And let's see what Brent looks like this morning. Right there. Brent doing the same thing. They popped it. Now it's driving down. It's at 79. And you can see front month crude oil is 74.73. And the back month is, in October, 74.43. So it is not that far off. It's about 29 to 30 cents. But it's still premium the front month. So that means that the buyers want to take delivery. So they're scrounging around trying to get some oil to put in their, large chemistry sets. That's the way I look at it. It's like a large chemistry set. All right. And then from there we go over to nat gas. There's natural gas right there. Trading at the 25.28 area. It was $2.52. Sorry about that. $2.52. In Europe, it might be trading at $25 or $26, but here in the States, it's trading at $2.52. And so you can see here, same situation. Let's see, what's that? Copper. No, I went natural gas. Nat gas right there. There's a nat gas. It slid into the sell 3 days back, just like in J4X. 4 days back. 3 days on J4X, 4 days on Chicago Quant. And now we are threatening the weekly. Look at that. Pressure is on. Let's see what it looks like right here. Look at that. For 3 weeks now, it's been pressing down. Matching up to our fast. Our fast has been in a sell for 3 weeks. So that pressure is on. Let's take a look at the lines. What was that? That was... Let's see if we can get a better picture. I'm just trying to see where it was right there. That is 57.37. And that was 71. Okay, so that was still positive. Where's the next one? Guess right there. So, right there. There it is. 62 and 72. Okay, so went into the sell there. Interesting. And that's the weekly signal. Now, over here on the Chicago Quant, you can see that pressure is there, very clean. It's just starting off with the slow, and now it's joining in with the fast. It's been in a sell now going on a third week. What else? I guess it's nice is that the daily has been breaking down too with it. So you knew one thing, don't be long, that's for sure. Where do we go from here? Let's take a look at the energy company down in Spain. That gives us a flavor where the stock is trading. Is usually they must be a natural gas company, so their stock literally follows natural gas prices in Europa. 26.82. So that's $26.82 to a cubic foot. So they're still having their high priced situation. It would be nice if it wasn't so high priced, but it is. All right, from there we're going to slide over to the metals complex. Let's see, metals. Oh, and let's see the lines on this too. There we are. The fast is 884, and the slow is at 72, and it's trying to tell us that it wants to perk up even a little bit more, unfortunately. All right, from there we'll go over to the metals complex now and take a look at gold. And there's gold. And then let's put it up over here. And there's the gold there. Showing that weakness also. And it's been in that long weekly sell from the $2,050 area. From there we'll go to take a look at silver. There's silver. Holding up much more firm. This is the September contract. And you can see here. Matter of fact, let me just double check. I guess the August contract probably is, I can imagine delivery must be just a chaos when it comes to the metals complex. So let's see what they're saying about Who is the front month? I'm just double checking. August is 74,875, and the December contract is 5,600. And the December open interest is 218,000, and the August is 241,000. So we're going to probably go from August to December. What's that? Sep, Oc? No, it'll be 4 months. Interesting. That'll be the front month. And right now, actually, December gold is trading at almost $2,000 an ounce. It's trading at $19.90, and it's down $12. Last night it had settled above the 2,000 mark. So, there's a lot of premium. In other words, when you look at December of 23, it's trading basically $44 higher right now. When we go and look at August of 24, gold is $122 higher. It's trading at, August gold is trading at $2,078. And then when you go and look at December gold of 24, it's trading at $2,105, almost $2,106. And so what's interesting is that the back months, which can't be exercised, we're trading much higher than the front months. All right, now silver, as you can see there, having its pressure. Let's put it up on J4X, but nowhere near the pressure of gold. Right there, 24.76. It's lifted up. It's been in a daily buy for since the close last week into it. They both joined in right there, and it's been in a daily buy since back in here in the $23 area, and here it's trading at $25 and change. And this is spot silver, so that's trading at $24.76. There's a premium of 32 cents. Indeed. It's these things can't be exercised. They seem to hold their value much better. All right, now from there we slide over to copper, and copper is having a real smack in the head today. It's trying to get into the sell dramatically. It's been in a weekly buy for weeks, 4 or 6. This would be the 6th week, but it's already on Monday, heading down. We'll keep an eye on that. Let's put it up over on. Let's see. Let's put the lines in there too. Whoa! What was that? There we go. 92 and 93 on the fast. So it's still acting very firm, but at the high end of its range when it comes to silver. There's copper. I think there was bad economic news in China. I remember hearing that this morning. Every time you turn around, they have some issue, some pressure on their market. And that's not much more that can be said about that whole thing, China in a tough situation, trying to be conqueror of the world, and at the same time, its economy is floundering harshly. All right, you know what they always say, when America sneezes, the world catches a cold. All right, now from there, we slide over to platinum. Let's see what the platinum looks like. Right there. As you can see, platinum missed going into the weekly buy last week. It's been in a weekly sell for, what's that, 3, 6, 9 weeks. It's above it at the moment. It's trying to get into the buy. The daily's been in a buy since right here. Was it the 9 something area, 930ish area, 35 area, something like that, 34 area, and it ran up almost to 1,000. So it's had a nice little pop. The fast closed in the weekly buy through the manifold, so we see that there is some buying going on, and money wants to reach up for it. I mean, platinum is at a major discount. to gold, $1,000 off now. At this point, $1,000 plus. So it is what it is, in the sense that platinum, we think, as much as it's discounted to gold, still seems to want to lead the metals market. We always see that too, and that's interesting to see how it does that stuff. It's able to lead. Not sure how well it is when it comes to individual value, but one thing is for sure: you try to go buy a platinum ring, and they want to charge you twice as much still to this day. So it's very confusing to watch it trade at the exchange at one price and trade at the jeweler, at another price. And it's very, very strange. So, what's next? We go over to the stock market. Let's see what the stock market's doing this morning. We'll show you the intraday. Kind of just flirting since the news came out. Nothing particular. It's hanging around, just down 4 or 3 points, something like that. Let's see. Let's put the dailies up there. So there is the S&P 500. It's down just 2.5 points. We've got the NASDAQ, the Tech 100. Let's put that up over here too. There's the S&P 500. Just hanging around. And same thing with the Tech 100. Tech 100 is... They're calling the 7 of the S&P 500 the Magnificent 7, and the 430 are undervalued. That's what they're saying. I don't know. You can see here, this is up 26 points, and this is part of the Magnificent 20 of the Magnificent 7. It's the tech sector, which is up 40% this year. So, it's these are the companies that make the economy function. So that's the reason why. All right, looks like we're done for the day. We will catch everybody, since no one seems to have any questions. We're going to give you a few seconds. I'm going to try to figure out what a title is before I wanted to say hang up before I shut off the webinar. So what should we call today's webinar? How about what did we see? We saw interest rates. Let's see. Let's see. Interest rates kind of stalled. We see dollar flat. What else did we see today that I could actually make a title out of? Gold. Let's talk about the gold and silver. Why don't we put that up there? Something like gold weak, silver strong. Gold underperforms performs silver. Underperforming silver. There we are. I think that's going to be the title. Makes sense to me. All right, traders. So we will catch you all tomorrow, same time, same channel. So happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. All right, traders, have a safe and smart trading day. Catch you tomorrow.